Hey there, it's Seb Frey, the Realtor, and let me ask you this. Have you seen those scary headlines about the Silicon Valley real estate market softening up? I've seen them, and I'm going to talk about them here in this video, so stay tuned. But before I get into all of that, I want to ask you to do me a huge favor. Would you please mash that subscribe button right there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the little bell to make sure that you receive all notifications whenever I put up a funny, new, cool, awesome, and very timely episode just like this one. All right, without further ado, I want to talk about some of these scary headlines. Now, I took last week basically off, and I say basically because I was in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Had a great time there for spring break with the family. But when I was down there, I was, of course, doom scrolling through the iPad, by the pool, and just sort of making sure that I was following the latest goings-ons of the real estate market. And one headline really caught my eye while I was away. It was in the good old San Jose Mercury News. And guess what the Mercury is telling us? Bay Area home sales dip amid financial uncertainty. That doesn't sound too good, does it? Now, it says here in this article that home sales dropped nearly 20% in February from the previous February. That doesn't sound too good. But at the same time, prices were up 17% from the previous year. So that's the thing about these articles. They have the clickbait doom headline, and then you have to scroll down and you find out that it's not exactly what they're making it sound like. Whenever anybody hears 20% drop, they hear 20% drop in prices, but actually, no, it's actually a 17% increase in prices, just a 20% drop in sales, which is probably, if I had to guess, tied to lack of inventory, not too much to choose from. And conversely, that lack of inventory is also what's boosting up prices. But at the same time, while I was down there doom scrolling by the pool, I saw there's a new report out by Fannie Mae, and it's just March of 2022, so just last month. It's their Home Purchase Sentiment Index. Yes, the good old Home Purchase Sentiment Index. And what does it say? Now, this is a national figure. This is not a Silicon Valley specific figure, but only 24% of people think that it is a good time to buy real estate, and 73% think it is a bad time. Conversely, 74% of people think it's a good time to sell, and only 21% think it's a bad time to sell. And it's interesting, right? I mean, like with 74% of people thinking it's a good time to sell, nobody's actually selling. It's one of these great ironies of life, that, hey, the market is awesome. Yeah, you should sell your house right now. But nevertheless, nobody wants to sell their house because many people figure, hey, where would I go? And that's the fundamental question, right? No one really has a very good, not nobody, not enough people have a good answer to that question. And that's why we are in the situation where we have very, very low inventory, which is causing these, surging prices. Then, of course, this came out just right before I left, actually, and there's a new report from the Dallas Federal Reserve, which is saying that home prices have or may have become unhinged, right? They're unhinged, and God forbid anything should be unhinged, right? We don't want that, do we? No. So they're saying that home prices are unhinged, and they're saying that because a large group of buyers are acting on the assured belief that today's record price increases will continue. Yeah, well, one hopes that when one buys a house, that home prices will continue to increase. I think that very few people buy a house hoping that home prices will decrease. And I think maybe the unspoken word there is, increase at the same amount which they've been increasing thus far. And, that remains to be seen. But that in and of itself does not really constitute much in the way of, news for me. But again, hey, I'm doom scrolling, man. This is clickbait. They want me to click and, buy something or whatever. So that's how I found that. But really, there's nothing really there. So maybe you saw that headline too. And I would say that's just the sound and fury is signifying nothing in that one, I'd have to say. Then, of course, there's that report out from CoreLogic. Now, if you're not familiar with CoreLogic, they're like one of these big data aggregators about the housing market. And, they have like their, automated valuation model that a lot of lenders use. They have a lot of proprietary reports that you have to pay for. And I actually tried to buy this report. I didn't see where they were selling it. I guess it's some other place. But they give you just the headline. So the headline in this CoreLogic report says the potential of price declines in the real estate market. This actually came out almost a month ago in the middle of March. But they go through and they show you what places they think are most likely to have price declines. And here I'm thinking, gotta be the Bay Area, right? Gotta be. And I think that, of course, because I live here and, this is where my focus is. But I come to learn from looking at this that actually the most overvalued markets, there is none of them. None of the most overvalued markets are actually in California. Not a single one. You got a bunch in Florida and in Arizona and Texas, right? Actually, only one in Texas, and it's Austin, Texas. Where I hear prices are just about Silicon Valley prices now. And so they figure that these are the most overvalued markets, although in the free report, or the free article, which I can link to, they don't tell you why they think that necessarily. But then if you scroll down a little bit further, they tell you that the risk of price declines actually remains very low. And then they give you this nifty little chart here that shows you that, in Prescott, Arizona, they think there's a 70% chance of price declines. And actually in Merced, California, they think 70% of a price decline. In Lake Havasu, in Worcester, Massachusetts. And of course, Kalamazoo, right? Kalamazoo's got to be the place where you're going to have some price declines. But you'll notice when you look at this nifty map here, this color-coded heat map or whatever, that actually you can see the Bay Area. And I found another version of this map. So here in this other map, it's titled How CoreLogic Rates America's Largest Housing Markets. You got normal, you got overvalued, and you got undervalued. And, this is the largest market, so there's a lot of empty space in here because those are markets aren't even worth talking about. Flyover country, I guess. But let's look down at California. Now, in California, surprisingly enough, red, that means overvalued, and blue means undervalued, and gray means normal. So what do we have here? We actually have Monterey and Santa Cruz both overvalued. And again, they don't tell you why they're overvalued. They don't tell you where they got that. I'm guessing it's based on local incomes to home prices. If I had to guess, that's what I would say. And of course, obviously, people who are buying these or paying the big bucks for these houses in Monterey and Santa Cruz, most of them are not actually local people. They're people coming from, the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, coming down to, buy houses in those areas. So Monterey, Santa Cruz, overvalued. But look at this. You see all these blues, undervalued? What do we got? We got Santa Clara County, undervalued. We got San Mateo County, undervalued. We got San Francisco, undervalued in San Francisco. We got Marin County, undervalued, right? So it's pretty amazing that despite all the extraordinary price increases that we have seen here, CoreLogic is saying that large chunks of the Bay Area are still undervalued. So what's interesting here is that we're seeing that actually the greater San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley market, generally speaking, does not appear to be overvalued, at least by these professional, analytics firms that look at this as their, bread and butter. And in fact, they are still forecasting that prices are going to be increasing from where they are right now. Now, they've been up, as we can see, 17% over a year ago, incredible as that sounds. But they're still predicting that home prices are going to increase. Even so, then they do say, if you read some of these articles, that the mortgage interest rates are probably going to have the effect of blunting home price appreciation. So home prices will not be increasing as quickly as they have before in the past, but they will still increase. Now, did you watch the last video that I put out? If not, shame on you, shame on you. Go watch that video because I put up this nifty graph, this nifty chart. In fact, here it is again. I'm going to share it with you right now. Look at it. You can see, interest rate rises, and it's plotted against home price increases, right? So you can see that many, many times in history, in the last 40 years, when we've seen interest rate rises, we've seen home prices rise even in an environment where interest rates are also rising. So now clearly interest rate increases are going to impact some buyers, right? That's definitely going to happen, and it will impact them to a degree. where prices are probably not going to be increasing at the same clip that they were before. But at the present moment, nobody is really saying that they're expecting there to be any significant decrease in Bay Area, Silicon Valley home prices. So if you've been waiting for that to happen, I have to say that probably you might have to wait, at least this year, maybe next year. I mean, who knows? I mean, eventually home prices will come down because the market does not just go up in a straight line. It doesn't go down in a straight line usually, It goes, up like this. And so at some point we're going to have like a little dip. There's always a little dip, but will it be 2 years from now, 3 years from now? And what will prices be before they actually dip? What will interest rates be at that time when they're dipping, right? What I can tell you is this, is that most people, they buy or sell a house not based on the interest rate or where prices are. They base it on their need to buy or sell, which is why you see that 74% of people think it's a great time to sell, but nobody's selling their house, even though they know it's a great time to sell. They're still not selling, and that's because they need some place to live. And that's the funny thing about real estate, is that people sell and buy in good markets and bad because the decision to buy or sell is largely based on life circumstances. You get a job, you lose a job, you get married, you get divorced, you have a kid, you downsize, whatever, right? So I can tell you this, that I think that the long-term fundamentals for the greater San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, remain very strong. If you join my community on Facebook, it's My South Bay Life. Go check it out. I post tons of articles in there showing what is going on in and around, the South Bay primarily, right? Like San Jose, Los Gatos, Saratoga, Cupertino, Milpitas, Monte Sereno. These areas, Campbell, can't forget Campbell, in the South Bay. That's, where my center of gravity is for my business. It's just amazing to see what is going on, the dynamism of the area, of the economy. It is just mind-blowing. And to me, there is absolutely no sign that the Bay Area is going to lose its luster anytime soon. All right, well, listen, that's all I got for this one. But do me a favor. I mentioned that one video I posted last time. Well, I got a whole bunch of other great videos right over here. Please check these out. These are some of my most popular videos that I've ever put up, and I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and take a look at some of those as well. And, do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.